Welcome to part 2 of the United States Marine Corps' Maggots, me version, which is actually like part 3. Told you about my roommate at MEPS. This one's about me. Figured I'd be able to give you the most insight as to why I chose to enlist in the United States Marine Corps, which I was dropped out of recruit training. So here we go. Where we left off is I was went to USF. Nothing signed up for the Marine Corps. My 18th birthday came and went. I didn't go back to the recruiter. The compromise was going to kind of be, and I think my dad even mentioned it, to go in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserve. And there was an Amtrak unit in Tampa at the time, and the slot for an opening in that reserve unit was like 2 years away, so there would have been another two-year wait or something like that. I don't remember. It was a long wait. It's weird the way the jobs rolled out back then. The way the MOSs came available, it was like the needs of the service first. You did have your choice, but if you chose your MOS plus the location, then things got a little bit trickier, right? So I'm at USF for about a year and a half. The girl that I follow there, we break up. I end up dropping out of USF. I come back home, go to tech school to learn how to be an automobile technician. That lasted for about one semester, and I just had enough. I'm like, you know what, that's it. I'm going back in. I'm going to volunteer. I'm going all the way through. Nothing's going to stop me. Funny story. So I'm working at McDonald's at the time for money while I'm going to school, and I get all my in-processing stuff going, and I get within 2 weeks of my ship out date, and so I tell them, I give McDonald's my 2 weeks notice, and they fire me on the spot. Definitely a different time back then. Now, you may ask, when I went to the recruiter this time, this recruiter, I will tell you his name, Staff Sergeant McCoy, if I didn't mention it last time. I didn't go the electronics route. I'd had enough. I wanted out. I wanted to be overseas. I didn't want to be in the reserve and be home. Wanted to be regular Marine Corps. Wanted to make sure that I was overseas. So first choice MOS was Embassy Guard, 8650 something or other. I briefly looked it up before I made this video. I don't remember the number from them, but yeah, I always admired those dudes. Just like standing in the breach, between some mob overrunning an American embassy, and those guys just being the very last line of defense as people were evacuated. I wanted that. I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be around those guys that wanted to be that guy. So that's what I wanted to do. So going back to the story I was telling you about Brian, we make it up there, and I was wrong. It wasn't called a campfire. It was called a school circle. So we're in our school circle, and we're telling everybody, sharing why we've served, and everybody's going, well, I want to serve my country, and the great white stoke was right. Some people said, GI Bill. Surprising number of guys, and I couldn't believe this because I had never really imagined it before, were pre-trial intervention. Some of you may know what that means. That means you've done something bad and you've gone to court, and you are joining the military instead of going to jail. There was probably no less than 5 guys in my platoon that were PTI. These dudes were hard. I mean, we're talking like tattoos on their stomach. It was like Tommy Lee. One guy literally had mayhem tattooed on his stomach. It's really fascinating, the diversity of people. I just couldn't believe it. So we're going around, and then finally somebody says, I'm in the Marine Corps because I want to kill the motherfuckers that want to hurt us, that want to hurt the people I love. And after that one individual said that, all of a sudden the answers start changing. We got answers from like, I want to blow shit up. I want to jump from airplanes. I fucking think Marines are cool. I want to learn how to fight. I want to learn how to kill. It was amazing. And that's just what they said. Now, this is peacetime. We're not talking post 9/11 either, this is significant. Again, I dropped out, and I told you this is November of 1998. So when September 11th happened in 2001, I felt awful, because all those people in that platoon, everybody in the Marine Corps, you're doing at least a 4-year enlistment. I knew all those people were still in. I didn't know how to feel. I still don't. I still can't wrap my head around it. I struggle with it, and I don't even have any right to struggle with it. I haven't earned the right to struggle with it. But every one of them, and because it would have been within their term of enlistment. Where they went from 2001 to 2002. I know a lot of guys were fleet then. I was in touch. My friend Shane, I went to high school with him. Now he wasn't enlisted. He went through he went to college, and he's not enlisted. And I used to talk to him, and he'd spend his time between Okinawa and North Carolina. And then September 11th happened, and it was a lot more time in Okinawa. They went from like a 3-month rotation to like a 6-month rotation to 6-month rotation Okinawa, 6-month rotation fleet. So what they were doing, I don't know. I mean, stuff was going on in Africa, and at the same time, meanwhile, I will say, I remember back then though, North Korea got pretty damn quiet after 2001, but it was a fine group of men. I've never been around so many badass motherfuckers in all my life than the time I was at Parris Island. Just unreal. I can't even begin to describe it. When I was little, my grandpa was a retired Air Force, so we used to always go on the MacDill Air Force Base. And when I was in high school, I was in Navy ROTC, so we used to visit, there was the Orlando Naval Air Station at the time, and then we went to Pensacola Naval Air Station at the time. Still, nothing like that, nothing like the Marine Corps base. Now, it's definitely a different level, but yeah, that is it. So I hope this video didn't disappoint. I don't think it was the same romantic notion that that everybody would expect. Those dudes, man, there's some, they were killers back then. And they're killers now. I'm sure of it. I guarantee it. It was very physical. I'll tell you that much. Between recruits being physical with other recruits, drill instructors being physical with us, for a reason. You know, my we were pretty unique in that our DIs at the time, you know, even though it was peacetime, our drill instructors were of an age and of the seniority. Many of them had actually served in Operation Desert Storm, so training was becoming very, very unique. Once again, you know, you had combat experience. Not that there wasn't before. I mean, training wise, I mean, these militaries have held the line. You know, whether it's the United States, Britain, you know, even through peacetime, they've held the line, and people remembered. And I believe it's why we were one of the reasons we were so effective, in my opinion. Make of that what it's worth. One of the reasons we were so effective in Desert Storm just had to do with how many general officers were Vietnam veterans that were you know, field grade or junior grade officers. So like I said, hope this video offered some insight, and may also offer a little bit of insight into how I feel about things. So there you go. You know a little bit more about me now. Luckily, though, I'm a captain of a pirate ship, so who knows what I would be by now, but so many things happened since then that, as painful as some moments can be, the course of my life, and what I have now, I wouldn't change a thing. From meeting the love of my life to kids, the house, friends that I surely wouldn't have met. It'd be a pretty long shot. I mean, even my best friend, it's possible we would have met, but it'd be an extremely long shot. And in the case of my other friend that I went to high school with, you know, we may be closer now than we would be if, you know, if he as an officer versus me being enlisted. The Marine Corps then was a little bit different as it pertained to fraternization of that type. It's kind of a naval history type thing. They're very subdivided, with officers just being on a different hierarchy. So, anyway, that is what happens. The winding out, I guess I'll go ahead and share this with you too. Winding out, you end up going into what's called casual platoon. And that's when you're waiting for your out processing papers to get filed. You turn in your M16. I believe you turn in your Kevlar. Now Kevlar, please don't misunderstand. Kevlar back then wasn't like a Kevlar jacket. That's what we called our helmet. It's your Kevlar. You keep other things. I think you're down to you keep your BDUs for going back through. I think what else happens? You're in casual for quite some time while you're out processing. You still get fire watch. Being the new guy, you get the worst hour of fire watch, which is it is the hour before the hour that everybody wakes up. So if I'm making sense, so it's an interesting experience. Casual is like one step below. There's like I don't know, for lack of a better term, like a fitness platoon, where people that don't pass the entry PFT, performance fitness test, go to, and they're motivated. But anywho, rolled out of casual. They give you a nylon bag. They give you back your civilian clothing that was placed in the bin when you first enlisted, or not when you first enlisted, but when you in process. You actually enlist at MEPS. You know, you swear into the Constitution. All this other good stuff happens at MEPS. But get your civilian stuff out of the thing. They give you this mesh bag, a Greyhound bus ticket home, because they don't want your ass hanging around South Carolina being a bum in South Carolina. They cash out your pay from your time served. So you have like a wad of cash, which, I mean, it's not like a lot, but say if you're there for, I don't know, say 4 or 5 weeks, you have like 4 or 5 weeks of cash pay. So you haven't had a cigarette in a while, so you go ahead and get some smokes, and they sometimes send somebody with you to make sure you get on the bus. And then you get to ride on a Greyhound bus home and meet the type of people that ride on Greyhound buses, which was a new experience for me. I slept most of the way because hadn't gotten much sleep at the recruit training depot. They talk about sleep deprivation during your in processing, but it's more than what they say it is. I don't know what else to add. If anybody has any questions, feel free. I'll do my best to answer them. I certainly